Hi, guy. How are you? Chat's not. It should get a bit more and more people. But hey, breaking news, huh? breaking news with Mr. Phillip Schofield. And it was funny. I didn't. I wasn't even going to talk about this. Well, I wanted to kind of get off it a bit though. I didn't want to be just known as the Phillip Schofield guy doing videos and just getting big hits because of all the Phillip Schofield controversy. I was actually going to just troll the president, the US president Joe Biden, for his fall earlier on. But this just breaking news that came out just an hour ago. There's an interview that Phil has done with the Sun, and there's also an interview that Phil has done with the BBC as well, I believe. There's a different interview that's up, I see, on the Daily Mail. And so Philip Schofield, I'm utterly broken. If it hadn't been for my daughters Ruby and Molly, I wouldn't be here. So they're saying that pretty much with Schofield just very speaking so quietly, they said the camera microphone had to move closer to pick him up. A man on the brink. And it's saying he's in a bad way, mentally utterly broken. I'm not doubting what he's saying, but obviously this is to try and rehabilitate his image, get some sympathy from the public. I mean, for my girls last week, I wouldn't be here. I know I deserve it, but they said, "Don't you dare. We're here to look after you." I feel embarrassed and ashamed. I've had such a shit couple of years, and with this final cataclysm, I looked ahead and nothing, and the girl said, "Don't, we're here to look after you. Don't you dare do it on our watch." Now, I know Phil has probably been a bit of a scumbag over the years, but I don't think he would go as far as lying about things like that, about where he's at mentally. I don't think he has it in him to do that. Hey guys, hiya. JS, he looked rough. Yeah, I know. That's exactly JS. He does look rough, you know. Yeah, Cara. If you look on the BBC, Cara, sorry, the Daily Mail, it looks like he's done an interview with the BBC. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Mark. How are you? Yeah, so, but it's you know what it is, guys. It's the timing of these articles, right, is awful funny, right? Because you've got the Sun who first published this at 9:45, and then you've got the Daily Mail who published this at 9:48, right? So this was obviously premeditated, right? Yeah, mental health, Melissa. Huh? It's the Be Kind crowd, you know, the Be Kind crowd that he was part of. It was a double entendre. Sorry, Kat. It went over my head. It's quite late at night. It's, Lorraine days. He has lost everything. He knows everything that defend who he is, and he can't be in a good place mentally. What he did has crushed him and his family, and he knows the fallout is all on him. Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, God, I mean, could you say you have a bit of empathy for this guy that's saying he's totally broken and could be obviously feeling suicidal? Yeah, I suppose as an empathetic human being, you might have a little bit of empathy for him, but for so many years, you know, Phil was very rude and disrespectful to many people. And, you know, it really came down to it. It seemed that on this morning that basically, from what people said, that it was unless, you know, you're like a big A-list Hollywood actor or, you know, like a top presenter of a TV show, you know, he rolled out the red carpet for you. But everyone else he treated like shit. Now, there's some different stories you get with Holly. Some people say that Holly was nice. You know, Nadine Dorries says that she didn't like Phil. She didn't get a good vibe off of Phil, but Holly, she was nice to her. But yeah, but it is karma, isn't it? I mean, I think what Eamon Holmes was saying was like, he said, "quote Mate, you've had it your way for too long." And so yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in karma, um, but I mean, obviously, what I was saying though about the timing of these articles, they knew what they were doing, and it's really to just try and this is them now trying to Pete Phil's PR team. They want him now to get back. Well, I mean, it's not even a case of that he's going to be back in show business, but it's just to try and show him and somewhat of humanize him, right? But this whole thing of I mean, we don't know yet. I mean, Army. There was a video earlier on that Army Paz tried to say that McGreevy came out and said that actually that basically through a representative that he really does love Phil, and it's not. He's trying to say that this representative's claiming that it wasn't a case of grooming. I think that's what Army Paz was saying in his video, but I haven't actually found that article. I didn't come across it online. I've been quite busy doing other things. I don't know, that might have been on Politicalite or. But what do you guys think of all this stuff with Phillip Schofield, this speaking out now? I don't know if you've seen the articles, just reading them now, or what are your guys' thoughts on selfish? Melissa, I don't want to put the U's in on the morning. Yeah, exactly, Melissa. Yeah, I agree. I agree. That's the thing. I mean, there was a lot of people that were very critical of Caroline Flack, right? Dan Wooten. But it just seems to be a little bit suspect, though, this interview. And I've discussed before on my videos and these live streams that with this Phillip Schofield all this situation, all this controversy, that there's many layers to this, and it seems to be a bit odd that the son of all papers he's going to, right? He's going to the BBC. I'm imagining he probably had an alright relationship with the BBC, right? He'd worked with them before. He'd been with the BBC before, worked on shows with the BBC, right? So maybe he's still got connections there. But so no interview with Daily Mail. Well, yeah, I mean, I know he has done a statement before for the Daily Mail, but I don't know. Is Maureen here? Where's Maureen at? It was actually Maureen that messaged it to me, guys, because she got there right away before me. It was just 20 minutes after I saw it. Then they got Martin Frizzell getting grilled. Why did Phillip Schofield's lover film a showreel in your studio? And this is the guy, well, funnily enough, this guy, Ben Leo, who grilled him, is the program editor for Dan Wooten Tonight. So, but this BBC, so what's he saying? I don't know if it's any different with the BBC or. Just Phil vaping, Is it making a point to vape in these interviews, You wouldn't normally vape when getting asked questions, right? just to humanize him. The whole vape thing. He was vaping when he was outside the NTA awards. Greatest apology over the affair for the fallout from the affair was to his former lover. Has brought greatest misery into his totally innocent life, his totally innocent family, his totally innocent friends. It has brought the greatest grief to them. I'm deeply sorry and I've apologized to him. Should have known better. I should have acted the way I've always acted. I should have not done it. And forever I'll be sorry. I will die sorry. I am so deeply mortified. And then the whole story about reportedly first meeting the man when he was 15, but we've definitely seen photos where it's pretty certain he was younger than 15, right, McGreevy? Yeah, I'm with you, Cara. I don't want that to happen, and I don't know if this is maybe there'll still be people that'll be. I mean, they'll, Eamon Holmes won't have changed anything. His thoughts on Phillip Schofield after this interview, I bet. I mean, it's not even that my thoughts haven't changed. It's just is there I suppose a degree of mercy or forgiveness there. If he's really at you know the end of the rope, so to speak. Maybe a little bit, but I don't know. It's just hard for me to overlook these things. When media, with the media and how calculated things are, you know, we know that. So we know we have to be honest, and you know, this is how PR works, And Phil, okay, his agency has dropped him, but I imagine he still has that PR firm that he's part of and has that crisis manager that I'm sure he has to pay a lot of money for, right? And then there's a story earlier that Phil's putting up his 1.2 million London pad on the market. You know, he probably and didn't someone say in the live stream that once he puts his houses up on sale, then he knows that's it. He's fucked, right? So they weren't wrong. But then it was already coming out earlier that his wife just found out minutes before he went on air. Minutes before he went on air and revealed that he was coming out. That was when she found out. That was when his daughters found out, right? You know, he's Lorraine Days. He's reportedly selling the apartment used for Playtime Thursdays. I thought you were almost going to say 100,000. I thought I almost said £100,000 auction, Lorraine. You might have a problem selling it, right? Because when people want to, people will still want to buy the house, right? Regardless of the person and what he's done, right? But he might struggle to sell it for quite some time, right? Bought it in 2012. I mean, the thing about Steph, I don't know. I mean, did Steph have an idea, but she, I mean, I do feel sorry for Steph. I watched Penny Bunny's video. One of them she did earlier, and she was making a comment about Steph having big hands, and that's kind of unusual for a woman to have big hands like that. And I was wondering, well, what are you trying to imply there when you say that? You know, like I don't get that making comments like that because at the end of the day, she's been through a shit load of grief and hurt, and you know, just what she just found out literally minutes before he went on air. So I don't know. It's obviously media, and it is kind of it's trying to control the narrative, and it's the Sun. It's doing it with the Sun newspaper, and that's the thing. I benefited for a long time. Yeah, absolutely benefited for a long time. I know. It was always just locked in, wasn't it? Phil and Holly, and that was them for years. They've had a good run. 16, 17 years, and like Eamon Holmes said, that he had his way for too long. Lorraine, I honestly don't think she knew. Yeah, but sometimes people can have that thing in them, right, with their partner, right, their spouse, that they kind of have an idea that they're cheating, but they don't want to. Some people have that. Yeah, I imagine it was a big shock, but then, that was the thing, right? Like I said, just minutes before he came out, he told he told his wife and his daughters. Hey, Maureen. Thanks for joining us, Maureen. We're missing you. Missing you. Where's Loopy Lisa at, right? She was away yesterday. Interesting, Cara. Interesting. That's I feel for you that you went through that. Sorry you had to go through that. And with the person you were with, I mean, do you have a good relationship with him still? Are you guys on good terms, friendly? 14 years though. It's yeah, hi Lorraine. You're welcome. You're welcome to come round. Yeah, you hate him, right? He's an arsehole, right, Cara? But then you still have Phil and Stephanie, right? Real nice and friendly, it seems. You know, they were together, pictured together at Wimbledon last year. A lot of that maybe is for show or for front or to United front, you know, for the sake of the daughters. Because it says friends of Stephanie have claimed the mother of Philip's two daughters, Holly and Ruby, had no idea her husband was in a secret relationship with another man before he came out as gay. It's also been claimed that Philip's eldest daughter, Molly, only found out about her father's statement in which he admitted to having an affair with the young colleague minutes before it was released. So there we have it. So these friends of hers, so-called friends that are selling, stooging off to the sun, or Jeff Swig, you were here before, right, mate? You're on the Southern Comfort Maureen, or what's your thoughts on all this stuff with Phillip Schofield, Jeff? The BBC one's out tomorrow, right? Right. They got to keep us in suspense, huh? I wonder if the timing of it was maybe by design, right? Because think about it, right? 9:45, right? It came out. What program is on during that time? Dan Wooten tonight on GBUs. And you know when Philip talks about people that have a grudge against him, well, Dan Wooten's got to be one of those people, right? So as that show's going on, do they think it's best to like do it as it's going on with maybe, well, there'll obviously be live interviews, but obviously pre-recorded interviews because then they think, well, if we put it out before, then Dan Wooten will have all this material, and then they'll be critical of him. But I mean, there's still, I'm sure Dan Wooten, it'll come as breaking news, and then whoever's on that, the three people there sitting by him, they'll all be slating Schofield. But he was, I was saying before, Maureen, he was vaping, right? Is this whole thing? He's purposely vaping in an interview to is this is the, he was told to do that. Was that his PR team that told him to do that, like to humanize him? You know, because everything's calculated, right? Everything's premeditated. Damage limitation, Jeff. Yeah, but there's a lot. I was saying, Jeff, there's a lot of layers to this story, though. You know, because there was a cover up. You know, ITV bosses, from what I see, look like that they were involved in a cover up. From what the sources with the Byline investigations, the Sun was involved in the cover up. That was the editor of The Sun, Victoria Houghton. That was like her first day on the job. She took over from Rebecca Brooks, and that was the one that was caught up in that whole, hacking scandal. You're Hiya, Brax fan. Well, some people, Brax, are bullying him. I wouldn't say my videos are bullying him. I'm more kind of calling out people on bullshit and the fakes. And he was a fake for a long time, It was all Holly and Phil and, daytime TV up there on a pedestal meeting the royal family. But I mean, they just spoke to people and treated many people like shit, but it was in a covert way. But I mean, I don't agree with. I mean, if anyone's probably bullying him, Brax, it's probably like a Dan Wooten, right? Dan Wooten's all can't stop talking about the Phillip Schofield thing, but Dan Wooten was the one that played his part in controlling the narrative. He was the one going on like, "Oh, I was the one that told the ITV about the story." Like he deserves all the credit, right? And trying to claim that that's how they let him go, ITV. But then he played his part in controlling the narrative. After Phil came out, a day after he came out, Dan Wooten praised him. He went out of his way to praise him on talk radio, and he wrote an article about it on The Sun. It was about controlling the narrative, and he was part of it. And he's like, I mean, he's the biggest hypocrite with no morals out there. Or I mean, he's like a real big time snake. If he was really more in on, like, if he was the one who was maybe in on the negotiations with Victoria, Martin Fizell, ITV, the ITV boss is Martin Fizell, editor of This Morning, and then Phil and his PR, crisis management team. Maybe he wasn't in on those discussions and negotiations, Dan. Maybe not, but Dan Newton hid it from his Sun newspaper, the lying toe rag. No, yeah. That's the thing, Brax. I'm not bullying him. No. Yeah, Cara, it just has to all stop, does it? Grooming and fakeness, yeah. You know what it was, Maureen? I noticed that. I noticed kind of like like that clip I saw on the Sun website. I went from almost like having the teeniest bit of empathy for Philip, and then he just went back to coming off quite rude and nasty and snappy, right? What's Lorraine surprised at him going to the BBC after the way they covered for Savile, or maybe not? Well, that was the thing, wasn't it, Lorraine? He in his book, I think he had a book at some point. When was it he had his book? I don't know, but he had some book that maybe in the 2015, 2016 time, and he never said anything bad about Savile, going back to when he knew him, and he kind of gives Savile kind of credit for kind of like opening doors for him early on in his career. This is like when he was very young, mind you. He was like 16, maybe only 16 years old. I think he was like at that time one of the youngest people to get a gig on like radio or BBC, like TV, children's TV. Hi, Travis. Yeah, he was involved in the Caroline Flack thing. Yeah. But Dan's been caught out for being a hypocrite numerous times, Travis, like from shitting on Darius back in for like maybe 10 or so years ago. And then he was the one like, oh, RIP Darius. He was such a good, kind man. Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it, Maureen? Yeah, first off, Cara, absolutely, it stands alone. The truth, with or without support, but I just wonder it'll be maybe tough for Philip to ride off in the sunset, so to speak, right? At this stage, he's addicted to the limelight, right? Being in television and show business, it's all he's known for about 45 years. Yeah, I like that interview, Cara. Yeah, yeah. Because with Carrie Katona, I mean, the Sun newspaper really did take advantage of her. No, sorry, this morning show. I imagine the Sun took advantage of her as well. But yeah, they should have just when they saw the state that she was in, and I'm sure they would have seen it back when she was backstage, right? They should have just made a call. Someone should have made an executive decision not to have her out there on the show. I mean, did they need to see Carrie slurring her words and looking so out of it? Because it's like this morning was an established show. You know, we didn't need to see that. You know, but yeah, when I saw her speak and it was like real emotional. Not like I'm a Carrie Katona follower, but I was like, yeah, you went in on them, girl. Fair play, you know. Yep, absolutely, Maureen. They'll cut your throat for a good story. Maybe I'm just naive for thinking that he would actually have a little bit of journalistic integrity, Dan Wooten, right? But just him being such a hypocrite and being exposed for being one, you know. Lorraine Days, yeah, I did see that. Yeah, is that the one when the producer was like, because Holloway asked him, "Oh, you've heard rumors, right?" And then he kind of said something along the lines of, "Oh, well, there's rumors about everybody. There's rumors about you two, huh?" And she got a bit defensive. Well, Astro Chimp, basically, Phillip Schofield he's broken his silence and he's done an interview with the Sun, and this is Phillip claiming that he didn't groom the kid he had an affair with. Carrie, yeah, wasn't it Maureen? It was Max Clifford who was the agent at the time, right? I agree, Cara. They're total vultures, but they don't give a shit. They don't give a flying fuck. I mean, no wonder people like Britney go totally insane, right? Britney Spears, and I always remember that. Remember when Britney Spears said that one time, like she wished she would have preferred. She wishes she was homeless. That's how bad it is. That's how bad the media can fuck you up. Yeah, I mean, she did have a point in fairness, Lorraine Holloway. I'm not, you know, he probably knew a lot more the producer, right? Yeah, Travis, that was the thing. If you were right of center, Travis, if you were right of center, Philip Schofield didn't like you, right? You know, Jeff, a journo. He's a journo. He fucking journo. Max Clifford, God, yeah. There was always something about that guy, Max Clifford, that looked quite shady to me. Well, Holly's living it up right now, Travis, right? Isn't she like in a £8 million pad in the Algarve with her family? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree, Cara. I mean, at that point, she was what 31, 32, woman, lady. Surely she has a mind of her own, right? Well, Lorraine, that's if Philip is really if that happened, dead or Did it go on? Was it grooming? Are the media? I mean, it looks like to me from Phil, they're making that point in the media to say that he met the kid when he was 15, right? But we've seen a photograph from the drama group, and it looked like I don't know how old McGreevy would have been 10, 11, 12, because back then, even when he was a teenager, he always looked so young, right? So, Cheryl, Ashley Young, Cheryl Sherrod. Don't you mean Ashley Cole, Max? About Astral. So, Astral is Ashley Cole, Cheryl? Ashley Young. I don't know an Ashley Young. Oh, right. Well, he was just a bit like a big publicist and agent for these people, and but I think when Steve Brookstein was going to speak out about the truth behind the scenes on the X Factor, he said to Steve Brookstein, "quote Talk to the press and we'll bury you." Man, I think they did a good job of burying Steve Brookstein. He hasn't helped himself over the years though with some of the dodgy things he said, right? About um it was about one of the guys that killed the Jamie Bulger kid, that he said, quote, people should just leave the guy alone. And that was the guy that had was like porn. Hi, Maureen. Maureen, you're a sweetheart. Thank you. I owe you. That was that actually a story, Astral? Wow. Goodness me. Gee. I never heard that story, Astral. I don't. All I know is that Shadow Cole decided to get a big tattoo inside of a rose, right? I never heard that story about her and Ashley Cole though. Good grief! So is this going to be like a? Have they said that this is going to be like a special interview tomorrow with Phillip Schofield and BBC? Is this going to be like a 30, 45-minute special, or will they air this on the news? Any stories on this? Right. Yeah. I figured it would be one of those kind of. It'll be just be like well, I mean, it's me. I don't know if it's quite the same, but when Andrew had that sit down interview, that was like a 60 long minute special. Phil, it's hi, Christine. I'll have to check that out at GBU's. I'm sure Dan Wooten's having a field day with this. I mean, it's probably. I mean, he's kind of hanging his pragmatic hopes onto this, though, is he, Travis? I don't think it's going to work. Not yet, Maureen, but I'm going to get working on that soon. Just gradually growing and growing this. It's been going well though. Oh right, yeah, because the whole thing, Astro, like Shadow Cole and Ashley Cole, did they stay in this like the same like apartment complex that I think Ashley Cole and some of the other footballers stayed in, right? And then Ashley Cole I mean, he was obviously a bit of a dick, right? Cashley Cole, you know? Good footballer, though. Great left back. Martin Brunt, Cara. God, sorry, I'm bad, but who's Martin Brunt? Oh, the correspondent. Ah, right. Phil's a narcissist, Travis. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with that. Sky News Journal. Oh god. It's weird, Cara. Have you seen like clips of Sky News Australia, right? They're quite sensible, kind of like right, center right wing. They like taking the mick out of Joe, and they'll just like watch clips of Joe Biden like with the biggest, funniest gaffes, and then they just are in hysterics, right? But you get the Sky News here that is just so bullshit. It's like they've become just as woke as ITV, right? Yeah, yeah, I agree. Different. And that was the thing, eh? I mean, have you guys seen this? Have you seen the Joe Biden fall? Mr. Biden, right? Mr. Yeah, that creepy uncle, because we all have that kind of dodgy uncle, right? That has too many drinks in them and starts saying all kind of weird shit and or just boring you to tears with his drivel, right? But Joe Biden, he's always falling down, right? And he falls down at this Air Force graduation, right? Oh me. It's not even funny now though. It's sad with Biden, right? It's sad, right? Because it's clearly he must have early stages of dementia, right? But they still want to have this guy out as president. Bipolar cousins Astro. I like that one. Yeah. It's it's just I mean, really, Lorena, it's kind of like I would say a desperate attempt at him trying to rehabilitate his image. You know, I don't think in I don't believe in his mind that he thinks that he could get back in the show business world now. I think he knows he's done. You know. Yeah, yeah. Travis, creepy uncle. Maureen. Uh, but it's amazing though that like I'm defending him, right? But they were all everybody came for Trump, right? Everybody was think of how savage people were with him, right? About was it like the woman Kathy Griffin, Madonna talking about, how she wanted to blow up the White House. Other people that made comments about saying they wanted to assassinate Trump. Yeah, are you speaking about Phil Christine protecting those higher up? Because that's what that's how I see it, Christine. Because um, if this deal got brokered with the Sun, with ITV bosses, right? Yeah, with Phil's PR team, and then they got this deal that this was what was going to happen. That this is what they were going to do with to control the public opinion, control the narrative that he was going to do this and come out. And the way the media works is they always with celebrities they give them 48 hours warning that look, hey, we're gonna publish this about you. We've got dirt on you. Um, so he could be doing it to protect higher ups. I don't know if some of them are maybe still his buddies, but the thing is, Travis, there's a lot of layers to this story, though. There's, when you've got the Sun involved, and there's supposedly this deal done with the Sun, Victoria Newton, the editor, Phil's PR team, Martin Fizel, the editor of This Morning. to do this, to post the story. Oh, come out, I'm gay. You know, my wife and my daughters are just happy about it. Oh, by the way, I only just told them about 5 minutes ago. Lorraine, they say what they want about Biden if he keeps coming out on top when it comes to getting one over on Republicans. We probably disagree politically, Lorraine. I just don't like Joe Biden. I mean, truth be told, if I had to choose between Biden and Trump, I would choose Biden. That's yeah. The thing, Maureen, I was never a Trump fan. I just personally wanted Trump over. I just wanted Trump over Hillary Clinton. Astro, I don't think it'll come to that with Phil Astro, but the thing about Phil, I mean, we can't just watch the read see the interview that he did with the Sun and the day, or see the stuff in the Daily Mail, the interview tomorrow in BBC, and we can't just all of a sudden feel sorry for him, can we? I mean, the stuff's there from the real thing that he did, Matthew, with Phil. At the end of it, right? It's what will you be doing in 3 years, Phil? And it's, what does he say? Well, I keep getting away with it, I'll be a happy man. He was letting us know there. Was it they call the revelation method? And they're letting us know it. And if no one says anything, and if no one calls them out of it, on it, they feel they have power, right? They feel they have power. No one called them out on it at the time. So that makes him feel even. That made him feel even more. Travis, I understand that, but ITV higher ups have clearly burned bridges with him now. Well, yeah, I mean, Travis, but I mean, the way kind of Phil even worded it in the interview he did was kind of like, it was like somebody called them up from ITV and they basically just said, mate, sorry, gonna have to let you go. This is just too much now. What's going on? And then there's even something there about him texting Holly. I want to make sure I've got the right. Where's the stuff to do with Holly? There's a lot of shit on Holly. Where are we? This, I mean, he said something about when he texted Holly. Holly was like, "Oh, don't worry, the story will go away in a day's time." Well, that obviously did not happen. Yeah, we got to get that the violins out, Maureen, on this. Oh, me. He's not eating, Christine. Right, yeah. Which is probably true, That's probably one thing that Phil isn't lying about. What was happening? Somebody told me something in GBUs that was going on. What was going on in GBUs? Let me know. This is McCallum McGiffin, right? Interesting to see what she says. Yeah, I think this morning's show can't go on. It's too tainted. Needs to be rested and revamped. Yeah, probably right there. She's saying it's classic grooming behavior, Carol McGiffin. Yeah, of course, yeah, Christine, looking for sympathy. This will obviously this will be planned out. Phil's PR team, the crisis manager. What kind of qualifications do you have to be a crisis manager, right? Would going to college be enough? Could you just have enough like get your NVQ at college and then you could be a crisis manager? He's only sorry he got caught. Mm-hmm. Maureen, he said he texted Holly after the apology, and in the text told her not to reply. You know the thing is, Maureen, when he said that, he probably deep down was wishing she would reply to him, right? But he knew she wouldn't. She'd ignore him. Phillip Schofield's you, Michael Barrymore. Well, Tony Tiger. A lot of people thought Michael Barrymore killed someone, though, right? Funnily enough, Tony, Phil's PR manager was involved. He worked for The Sun when I think they had dirt on Michael Barrymore, and then they outed him as gay. I've had my doubts about GBUs, Travis. I've got a whole video on that about my thoughts on GBUs. You'll see it on my channel. Do people get paid for signing an NDA? Oh, they'll get paid off for it, absolutely. I mean, that goes on. Kanye West had paid people off, made them sign NDAs, and paid people, I think, £150,000 to not reveal that he had said stuff praising, being complimentary of Hitler. That's how it works. NDAs. Horrendous, Christine. Really? I don't know. There's some presenters that are all right, in my opinion. Between my thumb and forefinger, the world's small. Astro. Oh, me. She was saying that loose women runner named Mitch was gone just like that when MM. Right. Yeah, Mitch just got kicked to the curb, right? Michael Jackson, 40 million. Yeah, yeah. Why would you pay somebody off that much if you weren't guilty, right? Same question with Prince Andrew. Why would you make that pay the Virginia, whoever, can't remember her surname, sorry, 12 million. Right wing grifters. So I mean, some of them are, in fairness, Travis. Some of them are. I mean, I like a couple of people, Calvin Robinson, Neil Oliver, they're okay. Lawrence Fox is kind of okay-ish. Yeah, Dan. As soon as I caught out Christine for being a total liar and a hypocrite, I've got no more time for him. They have a time limit. I don't know if they do or they don't. Maybe, Lorraine. I don't know that. I honestly don't. I don't know if we will hear from Mitch, to be honest. They might have just said, sorry, gotta let you go. But it'd be interesting, though. Yeah. Safe space, Phil has said. He's part of that. That's according to a friend in the tabloids. Yeah, we can't believe everything we read in the tabloids. Yeah, well, Lorraine, they're saying about a super injunction that might, but then there's talk that some people have said there is one. Dan Wooten claimed there isn't one. So if Dan Wooten says there isn't one, I'm going to say that there is one. Alison would probably have more of an idea, Travis, because she's been around much longer. I don't think Dermot O'Leary's been on the show for that long, though. But I think Alison Hammond would have an idea that something happened. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Maureen, I mean, we can go back. I think you'd find it on Politicalite or somewhere else that there was the whole story about that guy in the media, and he had a photo, he was pictured with Matthew, and he was saying this was the guy that was he was gonna go to the press with a story. I can't remember the date of it, if it was maybe just a few weeks after Phil came out, but something Salvador, right? Because I can't remember exactly the name, but I know Callie had it on his video, right? And that's a good video to watch, guys, about Open Secret. Phil Schofield's a groomer, Callie P. It maybe, I mean, maybe there was a lot of drug taking going on, Jeff. Safe's full of sleaze, Astro. Indeed. Um, maybe it was just pretty bad living in London, Jeff. You know, cost like you know, it's hard living out there. The cost of living, you know, before the actual cost of living crisis, it would still have been hell living out there. You know, he would have just been pretty much living paycheck to paycheck, or probably in debt. You know, yeah, Alison. Yeah, yeah, I remember Alison Hammond from the Big Brother series, Lorraine. Remember the one that do you remember the one that Jade Goody was in? Was it 2002? And then Alison was only on it for 2 weeks though. Um yeah, you know what, Jeff, I felt that about Eamon, that he might, yeah, yeah, time will tell. Yeah, the thing with Alison, she only lasted 2 weeks, but funnily enough, there was I don't know if you remember the woman Lynn. The woman Lynn was on. She's from Aberdeen. I'm up here in Aberdeen, Scotland, and funnily enough, we were selling our flat 3 years later, and then she came. She was looking to buy it with her and our partner at the time. But well, yeah, she only lasted a week. Bloody Lynn. It was either Lynn or Jade Goody, but I'd have kept Lynn in because God, she was pretty insufferable. Jade Goody, right? she was. Did anyone else think that it was a bit of an act though? She was never really that stupid. Remember Portuguese? She used to say she thought East Anglia was abroad. She didn't know it was in England. I don't think she even knew Cambridge was. I think she even thought Cambridge was abroad, right? Oh yeah, when she went right through it. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I do remember that one, Annie. Yeah, that was a pretty good series, right? To be fair, right? When the show was actually watchable, it had like normal people on the show. Got good ratings. Well, you know what, Travis? I watched it as a kid, and it was actually when I was about 11, and it was generally funny to watch the show and follow everyone on it. You know, it was enjoyable. It was just about a couple of years later, then everybody all of a sudden is kind of weird who goes on the show, right? Everyone's got a super volatile temper, or everybody's either bisexual, gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they're just over the top with it, super campy and just acting in a real kind of inappropriate, I don't know, degenerate way. But that's when the show kind of lost itself. Everybody has an agent now. Yeah, yeah. Tough to find many people who are generally just themselves, Travis, that's what I would say. What's Jeff? Maybe not drugs. Mm. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same people as it, Maureen. The same people. They could change it up, couldn't they? I mean, not that I barely watched this morning. It wasn't my cup of tea, but I can do have kind of vague memories as a kid of the show, and it did seem all right, to be fair, when you had John Leslie presenting it, Richard and Judy, Eamon Holmes. They seemed all to be pretty good at their job. Yeah, it was. But the only thing with Jade Lorraine, I always remember this even as a kid, right? I didn't even really begin to notice how, I guess, thick or stupid. I'm sorry, but she was until maybe a couple of weeks into the show. It was strange. It wasn't something that I picked up on right away, but I don't know if it was maybe a bit of an act. It was a bit put on. The contestants. Hi, Teresa. I mean, some of them are normal people, Teresa, but then some of them probably get on the show because they know the right people. I mean, there's been accusations that a lot of the show was scripted, and it wasn't like they always recorded it 24/7. They did have time where the cameras went off, stopped rolling, and then they came back on. But da da dee da 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 dee da da da. So, any more views on Phillip Schofield, or is that it for tonight? You think? Simon Cowell's trending. Gordon Brown, are they in trouble? Right. Is there a good few conspiracy theories about Big Brother Teresa? Is that going back to the whole kind of like Big Brother George Orwell 1984 thing? Or yeah, Travis, BBC interview airs tomorrow. Yeah. I just came across this tweet here on Twitter. 2020, just after Phillip Schofield came out, Piers Morgan quickly cut the conversation when Perez Hilton revealed a bit too much live on air. And then there's something there. Joan Collins is there. Does that ring a bell to any of you? Predictive program. Yeah, that's a valid point, Teresa. Yeah. I mean, I've heard that about, September 11th, with predictive programming and all the stuff like the Supertramp album. Um, there was the rap duo that had the album cover with the detonate with the bomb, the Twin Towers. I mean, there was a lot of that, Teresa, right? Right? Was it Depeche Mode that had recorded a video from up on the Twin Towers? There was a lot of that, right? Oh, right. Okay. I haven't seen that clip, Travis. I haven't seen that one before. I think it's Tuesday, Lorraine. Stacey Dewey. Well, I mean, the thing with Stacey Dewey is, I mean, you could take her. She seems nice, and take her at face value. Astral, she seems nice, but I mean, Stacey plays the game, though, right? You can buy into that kind of like regular girl, down to earth thing, but she plays the game. Joan said everyone knew. Right, yeah. No one, Travis, no one. Trust yourself. It's funny because didn't Joan Rivers say something about it was Obama? And this goes into your conspiracy theories, Teresa. Didn't Joan Collins make a point about saying that Obama's wife is actually a man? There was that theory. Depeche Mode. Yeah, what's that song? Yeah, and she died today. Is that exactly right? Yeah, everyone knew it. Everyone knows, and I think she said everyone knows in Hollywood that it's Barry and it's Michael or whatever. Gee. And then the thing about the predictive programming, though, because maybe, and this is my theory, Limp Bizkit, right? Do you remember the song Limp Bizkit had Rollin'? And then the Twin Towers was involved in that. I think there was a bit where they performed on the top of the Twin Towers. And at the very end of the video, what's the final shot you see? High up view, skyline view of the Twin Towers. Aerial shot. So it was an aerial shot of the Twin Towers. And maybe that was just the one last push for them to have it in our minds of that. What do you think of that, Teresa? Yeah, Michael, right? Yeah. Look up this guy, Travis. Look him up. Look up this guy, Mark Devlin. You won't find him on YouTube though, but he's a real good guy for these theories. He I would say woke me up, but he's pretty good though. Good researcher. Yeah, I'm sure Perez probably had an idea. And Joan Collins, she was so old she didn't care and just said whatever. But yeah, Maureen, but that's a classic, isn't it? It is a classic song. I just can't seem to get enough. Oh, I'm not really well. The Celtic Football Club, they love that song. That's their song. Anytime they score a goal, they always play that song. I'm an Aberdeen fan though. I'm Aberdeen through and through, born and bred. I have that thing. I have that quality, Maureen. No, I know about that Astral. Yeah, I was. Someone was mentioning that it was oh me, I can't remember who the person was, but yeah, that I know about that Astral. Yeah, it is there. That it wasn't just by accident they called it that. I know. So Carol McGiffin's making it clear she thinks it's grooming. So not many people have actually gone on GBUs and flat out said they think it's grooming, right? I mean, they're just too afraid. They fought it. They just didn't have the guts to say it. Too worried of potential libel or. You channel your programming. Yeah, well, I guess we create our own reality, right, Teresa? Yeah, I don't watch TV really either, Christine. I just watch what I watch. Good night, Astral. See ya. Just watch what I want on YouTube, and you can just watch what you like. Yeah, no point watching all the shite that they have on TV. Do you think it's going to happen though, Travis? Like, because I've said this for a while now. Night Lorraine, I've said this for a while, Travis. I don't think I don't think you're going to hear from the kid. I don't. I don't think. I think that's it now. He's not going to say a thing. Pip, right? Was Pip the well-known nickname of Phil, right? Or Scoff, right, Maureen? Because wasn't it when he came out publicly as gay? When Eamon Holmes was there and they did the whole, planned out hug and whatever, and then at the very end, Eamon said, "Three cheers for Scoff," right? Three cheers for Scoff. Maybe Eamon was just taking the mick. Yeah, I mean, well, how much money do you think he would be offered for this story, Travis? I mean, what, a quarter of a million at most, or full of propaganda? Yeah, absolutely. Stitched up, higher space. Um, well, I mean, it's just, but it's just a little odd space, and there just seems to be these things space of and like questionable things of fellow messaging guys on Snapchat, young guys. There's stories about kids who were in secondary school and Phillip Schofield followed them on Snapchat. And there's just a lot of other stuff there with Phil. It's just awful sketchy. Um, I mean, Martin Bashir said it about Michael Jackson, and I was a big fan of Michael Jackson as a kid, and I didn't want to believe the allegations and all the stuff. But remember when Martin Bashir said about Michael Jackson? Is it right? A 44-year-old man's is in bed with a kid. So I mean, is it right? A 55, 56-year-old man messages young kids that are in secondary school and Snapchat, and there's stuff out there on Twitter, and it's just allegedly, but there were kids there like 14 years old. Bread and circuses for the plebs to raise on, right? The normies in Normie land, right? The NPCs. Hi, Finola. Hi, how are you, Finola? Space. Space is just trying to be controversial, right, guys? He doesn't do it. Space doesn't believe what he's saying. But I mean, Schofield's tried to claim though that this was a thing I was meaning to say before about the whole thing. In the interview, right, he's tried to claim that people who are attacking him are homophobic, right? But it's categorically 100% not a homophobic thing here, right? With Schofield. And the thing is, the people who have been critical of Schofield, I don't think it's been a political thing, right? People on the left and people on the right and center, whatever, have been all political. Have all been critical of Phil. Yeah, I mean, have people been more outspoken on the right than the left? Yeah, but it hasn't been a thing that's divided people, and I haven't seen any of these woke leftists come out on Twitter and saying, "Oh, you people critical of Phil is really just covert homophobia or whatever." So most people have. It's kind of a unanimous like, "Screw you, Schofield," on this whole thing. That's good to know, Finola. Good to know you're doing well. I'm sure you said the word homophobic, Travis. I don't want to like. Wait. I'm sorry. 1 second. Sorry for the interruption, guys. Finola is a nice name, right? I thought I'd seen the homophobic word, but He was talking about the parts of social media, but I think he knew what he was doing by throwing that out there, though, to make it seem like it could be like that. So this is all Matthew McGravy's fault, Space. Is that what you think? Hollywood will be spotted for first time since Phillip Schofield on holiday in Portugal with her family. Fenella in Scotland. Ah, right. Did I tell you I've got Irish ancestry, Fenella? It was my great granddad on my mum's side is Irish. Do you think we should ban Space from the chat? Finola, white shoulder. Hmm. I believe my surname Mackey is Gaelic for fire. Do you not get out in the sun much, Finola? Yeah, can I ban someone from the chat? I'm still new to this whole thing. Go away, Space. Come on. Get a job or do whatever, but don't come round here. All right. Deal with it later. Yeah, I probably should be making you mod, Maureen, right? Soon. I'm sure you make a good mod. You'd rule with an iron fist. Simples, exactly. Well, I mean, Teresa, what you're saying, he has free speech, right? But we have our free speech to tell him though that he's an idiot. Yeah, absolutely off his head, Christine. He's off his rocker. Simon Cowell, what's happened to Simon Cowell? A pie in the face. Well, one thing that I was meaning to put because I had it on my headline for this. Look up AOC Parody of the Congresswoman in America, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez. You know, some of you might be familiar with her, some of you might not be. If you're not familiar, you probably have to see some of our gaffes and our bloopers and our funny moments on YouTube. But her parody account's pretty funny though. If you already know her and you know what she's like. All right, Morty. I'm not the most tech savvy, Morty. Maybe you have to help me out and be the mod, and hopefully me and Carl will get to do that chat soon because that'll be good. I'm looking forward to chopping it up with him. I think Space was commenting on my stuff earlier, right? Space. Space might be like he might actually be underage using an adult account, you know. Yeah, I know Travis, right? And then they had that thing, right, Travis, that was it the 8-year-old girl was impersonating her? Who the 8-year-old girl who's impersonating her, and then she got death threats, and they even banned her on Twitter last year. Yeah, AOC Parody, Finola, look it up. It's funny. Ooh, I'm really scared, Space. I'm really scared. Quaking in my boots here. Yeah, you'll set them straight, Maureen. You'll set them straight. All right, it's getting quite late here. It's coming to midnight. I think I'm going to wrap this chat up. I don't think I'll be doing one tomorrow. I don't think I'll be doing one Saturday, but I probably will be doing another live stream Sunday. I've been really successful. But thanks everyone being here. Yeah, I know, Travis. It's the characters, though. It is like WWE entertainment, though. And you get some good gaffs and outtakes with Biden and AOC. Now, thanks, Therese. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm just going to wrap up for now. Need to get some sleep, catch up on my sleeping. So thanks, guys. Cheers. See ya.